Hello my loves and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nina and in today's video we're exploring different ways you can achieve a 60s style cut crease even if you have hooded eyes. When you first get into vintage, especially the 60s, it's easy to feel frustrated. The hair and makeup looks are almost an art form and it takes a lot of trial and error to make them work for you. Makeup was actually the first 60s pleasure that I could afford and it took me ages to get it right. So today I want to walk you through the stages I tried and that you can try too to slowly find the kind of 60s cut crease that truly suits you. Before we get into the actual makeup, let's walk through 3 key lessons about 60s eye makeup. First, let's clear up a common misconception. Not everyone in the 60s walked around with dramatic cut creases and immense lashes. Those iconic looks were stage or editorial makeup worn by performers like Twiggy, Cher, Nina Simone. You can also see Pattie, Diana Ross, or Marianne Faithfull. The average woman, say a secretary, a teacher, or a student, often wore a softer, simplified version of that. So if someone sees you with a really dramatic 60s makeup and they tell you that's not how makeup was in the 60s, they are partly right. But they are also missing the context of how trends evolved, not only in the 60s but also now that we've brought them back. Second, cut crease makeup depends a lot on your eye shape. Some people are blessed with eyes that suit almost any style, and others, like you and me, have to figure out what we're working with. You might not even be sure if you have hooded eyes or not. I know I wasn't at first. So your first mission is to understand your eye shape and learn how to make the cut crease work for you. And lastly, you don't have to think about your natural crease as a strict boundary. You can also use the space between your crease and your eyebrow. There are always other ways in which you can create the same lifted 60s effect without needing a ton of lid space. When I first started experimenting with 1960s makeup, I was trying to go all out. Cut crease, wide eyeshadow, twiggy lashes, false lashes, all the paraphernalia. And I honestly wish someone had told me to go slower, to master all the different steps first before going all in, because I messed up 1,000 times and walked out of my house completely unhappy with my makeup, thinking that there must be something wrong with my eyelids, or my face wasn't suited for this type of makeup, or that I wasn't pretty enough, So what's my suggestion for you? Start small. Get used to it and it will naturally grow larger and more exaggerated. I call this the Panam makeup because I started using it when I was watching the TV series Panam, which by the way I highly recommend. In one episode I saw a close-up of the makeup and I thought it was a perfect way of incorporating 60s makeup into my everyday life while keeping myself in a comfort zone. For this look, you only need a light eyeshadow on your eyelid and a darker eyeshadow on your natural crease. So in my case, I used a white eyeshadow on my eyelid and I always go slightly above my natural crease so that when I have my eyes open, you can still see my eyeshadow. And then I also pick a skin color eyeshadow on top because my white eyeshadow, it's quite shimmery. As always, I used white eyeliner on my waterline so that my eyes look a little bit bigger. And then I take the darker eyeshadow with an angled brush and I put it slightly above my natural crease. So when the white and skin colored eyeshadow finish, I put exactly this sort of line that is quite thick. Then I blend that line and I create the effect of the cut crease without having something super dramatic. Then I put some eyeliner in Panam's makeup. It's black eyeliner, so I went with that. I don't go too thick because my eyelid space is not super long, so I need the line to be super thin. And then I just put some simple mascara to finish the look. And this is the final result. One day, when I was a little bit frustrated about 60s makeup, I decided to recreate Sharon Tate's cut crease in this picture. My first thought was, there's no way this is going to work. Sharon Tate has beautiful eyes and an amazing eye shape, and she's so gorgeous, so this is not going to work for me, but I'm doing nothing. I want to have fun with makeup, might as well try. And that turned out to be the best decision ever. What I aimed for was a thin line drawn slightly above my natural crease, so almost where the eyeshadow is right now, but going with actual eyeliner pencil to make it more dramatic and to make it pop a little more. At first, I just draw the line up to half my crease. I didn't go above that because I thought making the complete line with such little space between like my lashes and my cut crease was just making my eyes look smaller, so that's not what we want to go for, and I just decided to go half, and that worked for me perfectly. If you feel the cut crease is making your eyes look smaller, or if you're just unsure, it's better to keep it just to the middle. For the Sharon Tate cut crease, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the previous makeup, so the Panam makeup, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brown eyeliner pencil and I'm going to draw a line that goes a little bit above my eyeshadow, my dark eyeshadow. I'm just going to create that line, and the line is supposed to be super long. It's not supposed to stop right where the eye finishes, but even longer than that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue my eyeliner line, the one that goes with the lashes, and I'm going to extend it to match the cut crease line so that my eyes appear bigger and longer. Then I just complete with a tiny bit of mascara, so a little more than previously, to make my eyelashes be a little more dramatic, trying to emulate Sharon Tate's picture, and this is the final result. So this is how it looked, and sometimes, you know, when I was, for example, smiling, you wouldn't probably see that. I took a lot of pictures in that era that I just don't see the cut crease. It kind of melts into the rest of my eye, and that's okay. I think that it's a great transition plan because you're using something to make it pop a little more. As I kept doing this makeup every day, I started to understand what worked for me and how to improve it. So little by little, I began to push my crease higher and higher, very timidly at first, until I found what worked for me and what felt right. Here are some things I learned along the way to achieving a more dramatic look. Always start with a light color. Brown is a great starting point. Don't start with black eyeliner to do your cut crease because it's going to come out too harsh and you're going to have to wear a lot of makeup to balance that dramatic cut crease out. So just start with brown. If it's a super light brown, that's perfect, and then you can go into a darker shade of brown, and then you can go into black, but always start with something that it's a little bit lighter first until you get the hang of that. The second thing is that using an eyeliner pencil is a lot easier than using an eyeshadow and a brush for doing the cut crease. In true 60s fashion, women would use a dark eyeshadow, like a brown eyeshadow, and a brush, but I found that is a lot more time consuming when you're putting makeup on, and an eyeliner pencil is just quicker and it leaves a nice looking shade that it's not necessarily something that you're going to lose throughout the day. So I would always recommend to go with the eyeliner pencil first. And finally, when you go higher above your natural crease, don't be afraid to make that line super thick. In my case, my eyelids fold a bit, which creates several small lines, and by making the main line thicker, I'm just making people see my crease, my cut crease makeup, instead of seeing all the small lines that I have in there. I'm creating contrast between a huge line and all the other simple lines that I have. If I make the line too thin or too sharp, I'm just emphasizing the other lines. So I just go way above my cut crease and also go super thick. For this makeup look, I just take white eyeshadow and I go way above my natural crease so that I just paint everything that is going to be under the cut crease line that I'm going to draw afterwards. I'm also going to take that skin color on top so that I blend the two colors. And I'm going to draw the line. As you can see, I'm just following my eye shape, but I'm going way beyond my natural crease. And I make that line super thick so that it is contrasting with everything else. The idea is to make that line pop even more than all the rest of the lines that are under the eyes. I also extend my lash line in the outer corner of my eye to create that effect. And this is the final result. So as you can see, comparing the second version, the Sharon Tate makeup, with the full-on Twiggy cut crease, I can do whatever I want with my eyes. I can smile and I can talk, and the cut crease will be there, which is a great thing for makeup. You can see me from far behind and you will see that there's something in there, and it sort of looks like this is my natural crease when it's not, and you can see the difference between my crease and just the line that I drew. As I always say in my videos, my eyes are different in shape one from the other. They're not super symmetrical, so this also helps me just create some symmetrical concept of symmetry in my face, and that's something that I like as well. That was everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful, or I hope that you just got out of this video super inspired to try this out. Thanks again for spending the afternoon with me, and see you on the next one. Bye!
But they sure got some cuties incorrect.